Alright guys, welcome to this best of 5 series between Charleswarmonk and Karth in this invitational round robin tournament. This is the first group stage game that has been completed. So I will be casting this best of 5 series and hopefully we will get a series that goes all the way. That would be nice. So we will start now. And in the top left hand corner as the red Traveller 59 is Karth, which is odd because I have never seen him play Scrin before. And in the bottom right we have Charles, who is the Cyan GDI, so these two playing factions that they don't normally play, so that's quite interesting. Charles is obviously a Scrin player and Karth's normally on the Nod bandwagon, so this will actually be quite interesting to see how this matchup plays out. So we're on Tiberium Rift, obviously, so this tournament is just a little invitational one in Charles's Discord. I've just thrown together, just for a bit of fun. Whoa, where is that engineer going? Is that a misclick? That must be a misrally. There's no way he actually wants to do that. And he's probably going to lose it too, because Charles shouldn't be able to miss this, unless he stops and stealths. I don't know how Karth has managed to misrally that all the way down, and now he's going to turn around. He's got to stop. Did Charles see it? Yeah, Charles saw it. Force fires, well done, Charles. So Disintegrator's out from Karth here, going across the map. That's a big loss. I mean, it's not as big in 1.03 because refs are as cheap as engineers anyway, but it's still going to be quite a nice edge for Charles to have that spike. And he has built quite a lot of rifles, so maybe these guys have played games before this series, and Charles knows that this Descent play Karth likes to go for. And he's already started engaging that building. He may as well just finish it off. It gives the rifleman less range to shoot at him. Doesn't have the upgrade. He doesn't have either of his upgrades, so these disintegrators are actually quite weak. And Karth, yeah, he's actually stalled out, so that shows how big that loss of that tip spike was. Although he could have cancelled this harvester, so he could have afforded that refinery faster. But you know, that's just one of those things. When you lose your tip spike, you don't think, I need to pause my harvester. Especially when he's gone for this Descent opening as well, it's even more crippling. I mean, sure, he's forced out. Charles built all these rifles, but he built them anyway as scouts. So it's not really that big a deal. I mean, there's only 4 riflemen. I don't think any of them got built after the fact that the Descents were on the field. So Karth's Descent opening has already been a complete disaster, and the engineer snipe, just the icing on the cake to see that Charles is miles ahead in this game. So Charles's motto is "when ahead, get more ahead," which I'm thinking he will try and do to the best of his ability. Especially he's a whole harvester ahead than Karth, and I mean he's almost finished his refinery in Karth and they're just starting his, so that's a big gap there. 6th harvester is out now. And these guys, they're just going to eco, APC, pred, rockets, yep. So I don't know if he's going to go for the APC rocket combination, which has been proven to be very powerful versus Traveller in particular in this patch. Since Gunwalkers, or I don't know, I think it's an APC have an armor buff. APC engineer, so is he going to try and take Karth's spike? That is greedy Charleswarmonk right there. Is he just going for an APC engineer? GZ mode. I have no idea. Second war factory comes down. And Karth's probably going for that disintegrator upgrade and probably going for a secret shrine to get disintegrators out. This engineer, APC engineer, so he's going to go for an APC engineer cap on maybe a refinery or possibly a tech. Double war factory here for Charles. Oh, there's really nothing going on. Both players are just sitting back and doing nothing, and this is just going to allow Charles to get more ahead. Karth needs to get on the offensive. He knows he's behind. He needs to really try and put the pressure on. And neither player going for the blue tip. Just like they're both just sort of sitting. Like if we look at their visions, I mean Charles has pretty good vision actually, but Karth, he I can't even see, but he would have no idea what's. Look at this, he hasn't even seen Charles's base all game, other than when those Descents came in. See here, Disintegrator versus GDI, I don't think it's going to work, but Charles does have a severe lack of anti-infantry in this army. So Grenadier squads wouldn't actually hurt here with their buffs in this patch, or Hammerheads could work too. He's dropped the F, but I reckon he'll go for hammerheads. Maybe even put grenades in those hammerheads, and that'll make them even better. This APC is just sitting and waiting. He puts the scan down. Oh no, he's probably he's Q moved the APC engineer. Oh Charles, you noob. You are a noob. Q moves the APC engineer. Or loses it. Hammerhead's coming out now for Charles. And there's a severe lack of anti-infantry here, and if Karth identifies this, he could really move out and put some pain on this Predator ball. Obviously the Hammerheads will be coming over now, but Charles can one-shot them with the amount of Seekers he has there. Ravager's coming out, which is odd, because there's absolutely no infantry on the field from Charles yet. But maybe he's predicting sniper teams. Still hasn't taken this spike yet, alright, as I say it, an engineer comes out. Of course, Ravagers, they do shoot up now, so maybe he's using them as a counter to air, although I thought they didn't actually do much damage to it, but I might be wrong there. Let's turn the health bars on and have a look. Oh, and this Predator ball, man, he's just going to lose so much because there's not any... He needs to send these APCs forward. Ravagers are shooting. Sea tanks. Yeah, I don't think the Ravagers are too strong this year, and they still melt to gun damage as it is. Yeah, that APC is... like, what is tickling me when that Ravager shoots it, and wow, Charles is already onto his third. And Karth is still just trying to pump out this Disintegrator, Seeker tank ball with Ravagers mixed in. And Charles, I mean, he's still just feeding this Pred army, like, absolutely feeding this Pred army. For absolutely no reason. You had those APCs sitting there for so long doing absolutely nothing. Game over. Karth has next to nothing next, he has no tech. And Charles will almost be double ref on his expansion. And oh, he's going for a ref. That needed to be teched so he could get the storm home. Dev tank's coming out, which is good, but too little too late, I think. It's full forward in this first game. There's the sell up. And Charles will take a 1-0 lead in the series. It's a best of 5. Yeah, Karth, he just had such a bad opening. He was going to be behind the whole time. And he never really caught... I mean, he was catching up towards the end. Maybe he took some of that blue tip. But Charles, yeah, Charles was throwing away units throughout the entire game. But it just didn't matter because he was so far ahead. He lost way too many Pred tanks in that engagement to those Disintegrators, just leaving the APCs behind. But there you go, that's game 1. So I'll see you guys in game 2. Alright guys, here we are for game 2. We are on Tournament Odyssey, and in the bottom left as the red Traveller, we have Karth again, and the same matchup with Charles picking the Cyan GDI. Tournament Bike Buggy, as some like to call it. Now, will he still go for this Descent opening again? That's the big question of the early game. I'm sure he will remember to take his spikes this time, but will he go for the Descents? And he is. He is going to go for the Descents. Now, will he go for the upgrade? Will he go for Stasis? No, that's definitely a ref. Any other sneaky engineers, maybe for a tower or one of these expansion points? Engineers coming out now, so hopefully Karth will remember this game not to send his engineers like up here or something weird like he did in the last game. Although this Rifleman, he is making a big go for this Disintegrator. Oh my goodness, this could actually be really close. Obviously we see there's lots of scouts out here for Charles, so he will spot the Disintegrators. Oh, Charles, he's moved his Rifleman up north, probably worried about Karth sending an engineer up here to take this. Because that has happened versus Charles a lot, especially when I play on this map. If I'm screen, I like to take this and just build like 100 Disintegrators and just eat his expansion whenever he gets there. Double ref comes down. Karth's got to place that ref, man. There we go. So, Karth will want to try and get back in. These Disintegrators are actually going to get in, and then I don't actually know if Charles has spotted them, because there's been no damage taken by them, and there's no APC out yet. This Rifleman isn't moving to defend the tip spikes. Now, is he going to go for the spike, or is he just going to go and try and in and snipe a Harvester? Does he have the enhanced beams? He still doesn't have the enhanced beams this game. But it is quite a heavy investment early in the game, $750, and he knows they're there now. He must have seen them with his vision on the tip spike. He's going to move in, and he's going to at least pull the Harvesters off the line. Between the guns, the Harvesters, and the Riflemen that are also there, see, Charles, this is unnecessary. He didn't need to pull all his Harvesters off the line here. He had enough guns here, and Harvesters would have defended themselves. And now he's got 2 Harvesters just sitting there doing nothing. Oh no. No, he's realised he puts them back to work. Okay, but I actually think Karth probably did get ahead there. He definitely wasted $1,200 worth of mining time there. Now we have Gunwalkers and Seeker Tanks out, and Charles's expansion will probably be later now. No, it's about the same still. But he would have stalled for a little bit there, because he pulled literally every single Harvester off the line to shoot at those Disintegrators. Gunwalker's Seeker Tank, so he's going to go for this Gunwalker Seeker Tank push, which Charles likes to claim is unstoppable, or is the only way for Scrin to win, so it will be interesting if he does manage to pull this off successfully. See, why is he sending Riflemen back? I mean, what are the Riflemen going to do versus this? There you go, send your Riflemen back, get scout, get eyes on the map. He's got so many rifles, and he's just sending them all back home for absolutely no reason. Double War Factory comes in. Now, I think Charles should be able to hold this. He's got the Double War Factory down, he's got Pred Tanks coming across, and a good mine drop. That is a great mine drop. Oh, see, he didn't micro his Harvester back. I mean, that's just his own fault for losing that. That was just poor micro reach. Of course, the Seeker push does force him off the line. So again, Karth is this good Scrin harassment that has since early, now Seeker Tanks. Don't know where this Harvester's going though. Probably not the best option in all time. Yeah, we see Disintegrators coming out, but Charles will spot Disintegrators coming out. Good to get that Harvester back on the line. Double Ref comes down now. And I think Karth, this will either be a Ref or a Stasis Chamber. I'm going to go with Ref. Yep. And then he'll go for the Stasis Chamber to get that Fast Legs upgrade. He did realise his Harvester had been misrallied, and he's going for Dev Tanks. Okay, so I don't mind this. Dev Tank to Synths, maybe go Dev Tank Cultist, because that's a really powerful strat. The Trav has... What are they actually called? They're called Initiators in this. Because they aren't Dev Tanks, because they don't have the ability to charge their weapons. So Charles moving out across the map here with his Pred APC ball, but I don't think he can overwhelm this position, especially if Karth was to place a few photon cannons down. I don't think Charles will be able to get in. Yeah, Charles realizes he doesn't have enough anti-infantry here to deal with that Disintegrator ball. And see, this is where Charles just throw a few grenaders in his APCs. And he'd kill this force pretty easily. With just a few grenadiers in those APCs, or even just have them on the ground. Shock Troopers. Oh no, Karth throwing. 2-0 to Charles. He's built Shock Troopers. Oh goodness me. 2-0 to Charles. I'll see you guys in game 3. No, I won't do that. Yeah, Shock Troopers are just bad, man. Although, mixed in with this Dev Tank ball, maybe they will be quite powerful. I mean, there is still a severe lack of anti-infantry being built here by Charles. He's gone for Hammerheads, and is there a rig? I don't know why he'd go for a rig versus Trav. He's going to move into the main base here of Charles, and I mean, the Shock Troopers, they're going to be quite effective here, because there just is not enough anti-infantry here for Charles, and he's probably going to lose his entire force. This is just poor. See, Charles, he may as well just try and kill as much as he can with his Pred Tanks. They're not going to get away, so send them forward and try and kill some Seeker Tanks or something like that. And again, he's actually holding quite, because these Shock Troopers, they've just got the Plasma Disc upgrade, so now they can fire back at those Hammerheads. His Pred Tanks, they're all but dead. Although he did thin down the numbers of the Shock Troopers quite well, but there is still this big Dev Tank ball. Charles still just single filing units across the map, as he does. Karth getting ready to expand into his third. Charles going for rail guns. interesting choice here. I don't think railguns is what he needs versus this army. I mean, some orcas right now. Just a really hard air transition would be what I would be going into with if I was Mammoth tanks? Why? You're versus Trav. Why are you going Mammoth tanks? Hello? I don't want to be too critical, but that is a dreadful decision. Well, why in the world would he go for Mammoth tanks versus a Traveller player? I mean, this railguns, Mammoths, it's just a bad idea. It's just a really bad idea. I think Orcas and Hammerheads would be the way I would try and go and just get Preds on the floor, but I wouldn't go for railguns. Well, I guess only 4,000 instead of 4 Preds. Probably still worth it, but this Mammoth tank change, yeah, this is not the way to defend this army. Hammerheads are a great choice. Deploys the rig to sell it off. That means he is desperate for cash here. So he probably needs to sell a warframe. He's going to lose his tech lab. He's not even going to get railguns. He's going to lose the tech lab. He needs to sell it off so he gets a full one gear squad and sell it off. And now, Charles is going to get overwhelmed here. There's just too much. His Mammoth tank railgun investment just was not worth it, and he's probably floating money now with anything. I have a look. Yeah, he's floating. Spend funds there. Construction complete. But I think we'll find Charles is this is probably game over. He's going to lose this entire base, and that's pretty much all he has left. And his MCV's here. He loses the last Mammoth tank, and there's nothing left here. I mean, there is a severe lack of anti-air, but there's only one, and Charles calls it. So Karth takes a 2-0. No, it's a 1-all. Back to 1-all. I mean, Charles, I think he was in control of that game. He did lose a lot in that bottom left engagement. Which was here. He did lose a lot. Charles, I mean, Karth lost a lot too, but he also had a lot of like cheap units compared to Charles. I mean, this engagement, I'm assuming this is the bottom left engagement, was just terrible, and he never recovered. And going for Mammoth tanks, terrible idea versus Trav. He should have just kept with. I would have gone for a lot of air because Karth's army did lack air, and he didn't have tech, so it's not like he could have gone for Mechapedes or anything like that. And if he went for Storm Riders, you also could have gone for Hawks. So I think Charles missed a trick there. A big air transition would have really put Karth to the sword. But that means it is now 1-all, and I'll see you guys in game 3. Alright, here we are with game 3 of this best of 5 series with the scores tied 1 apiece between Karth and Charles. We move on to tournament airstrip. And on the left hand side is the Cyan GDI. We have Charles. And on the right hand side, after his beautiful victory with the Shock Trooper Dev combination, we have Karth playing as Traveller 59, which is odd. Still not sure how this matchup has happened. I mean, I know Charles is scared of mirrors, but you'd think he would back himself to win a mirror versus Karth. He's just played thousands and thousands of games with Traveller compared to Karth, who is a Nod player, or a GDI player most of the time, so that's quite bizarre to see Charles isn't trying to force Karth off of Traveller. Pretty normal opening here. No disintegrators. Karth is going for this middle spike, which makes sense. I mean, this terrain is just so favoured for buzzers here. Where is that engineer? Let's make sure he doesn't actually get that snipe just by a stray rifle like this guy coming around the side, coming around the south here. Oh no, Karth, don't lose that engineer. Oh. Wow, that is way too close. That would have been heart in mouth stuff for Karth right there. Losing it, starting a game with another engineer loss would have been disastrous. Now he has this big line of buzzers. He needs to choose what he's going to do with them. Send them around, scout. Karth will be looking to really be aggressive again, I think, because he was aggressive in the last game and it worked quite well. With the Seekers and the Disintegrators, and then he just held off Charles's pre-APC ball to the point where he just overwhelmed it. And Charles's big mistake last game was he stopped going for that pred APC, or he didn't go for air, enough air. The mammoth tanks, like, he didn't need to tech up in that situation. If I was Charles, I would have gone for really hard air transition, or just kept spamming the tier 1, tier 2 on the ground. Get some, maybe even some Shatterer tanks would have been good with just APCs. Even infantry, he could have gone into his own infantry, get some sniper teams out to deal with the shock troopers, but I think teching was probably the worst option he could have chosen in that situation. Especially to go mammoth tanks there as well, when shock troopers were the main force that he had to fight with. Sure, there were like 6 dev tanks there, but you can easily clean them up with some orcas or some just pred tanks. So especially when they can't charge, pred tanks would be quite effective versus them. Going mammoth tanks, I mean, it didn't matter in the end, but that's just prodigy food or cultist food if it ever got to that point. Even hexapod food if Karth was able to get down that tech tree. This game is just an eco fest, as we see, and APC rockets coming out here, and an APC engineer again. So maybe Charles is going to try and take back that middle spike for him and to reap the rewards. No one going for the blue tip. Both players just content with sitting back and getting their eco strong back at home. Wow, 9 harvesters from Karth. This is a big gamble. If Charles went really aggressive or went for some air or anything like that, this would be a disastrous build. I mean, he's got too many harvesters for his own good. Or does he only have 4? No, he's sending one to the blue. He has 9 harvesters. That is absurd. Obviously, he knows Charles is he likes to camp, so I guess he's backing that Charles will just not punish this. I mean, Charles wouldn't even know he's gone for this type of build. It's just ridiculous that Karth is able to do this without any stress. The APC rockets are coming up to the top of the map. Has he taken that spike? No. Where is the APC engineer? That is a good question. Where is that APC engineer? Let's go to Charles' view and see. It's down here. Okay, there it is. So we've got to keep an eye on that. The APC rockets, they kill a couple of super tanks, but they're going to lose one. Ooh, that can survive on the barest of HP. You cannot even see the health in that health bar. APC moving up. Here we go. APC engineer. He's going to run into disintegrators here, which isn't ideal. But I think he probably should have just kept. Yeah, he's. Oh, has Karth actually seen that, or is that just an auto rally? No, that was just an auto rally with those disintegrators. So now we'll see. This is a better option. He's going for infantry. I like this from Charles. I think this is a better option versus this dev tank disintegrator. Is he gonna? Oh wait, where's he going? Is he gonna go for the drone? That's greedy. That's greedy. He's going for the drone. He's going for the drone. He's got to lift up Karth, and he has to lift up. And I think that just cancelled a refinery as well. I think that was either a refinery or a tech lab that was fully queued up, and he had to cancel it. The engineer actually got back inside of that APC, but it's going to go down now. And Karth sent his entire army back to try and deal with that. Now this is good because he has this infantry ball here. Oh, and Charles is getting harassed off in the main. Wow, Charles is really pulling himself ahead now in this series. Not in this match, I should say, but probably the series. I mean, that is some crippling eco damage already done. He cancelled the second ref of Karth, and now he sniped 3 or 4 harvesters at the main base. And there's a severe lack of anti-infantry here for Karth. I mean, he needs to get some Ravagers out. He's got Ravagers out, he's got some Corruptors, but he needs to get them out to the front fight here. Drops off more infantry. Sniper teams would be good here to deal with these Ravagers. Sniper teams, I believe, one-shot Ravagers. So they are quite powerful versus them. And Karth is really struggling with the money now. He's got 4 harvesters on 1 field with 1 ref. I mean, this is terrible. He needs to either transfer harvesters back up here or get a second ref down and build some more harvesters out, because what he has left on the field right now is just not enough. Charles still going for this tech. Again, see this, he needs to identify here, Charles, that Karth has almost next to no anti-air. I mean, this is anti-air, but it's very weak anti-air. Karth's probably going to try and snipe a ref with the Tiberium agitation ability here. No, runs back down and sees the infantry and he's like, I need to go deal with that. Again, there is absolutely nothing here for Charles to deal with the Ravagers. He has absolutely nothing here. I don't know if he expects the riflemen to counter them, but there's no sniper. Oh, hammerheads. Hammerheads come out. So let's see, are they any good versus this hammerhead here? I mean, that's 4 Ravagers. They don't even one-shot a hammerhead. Yeah, no. So hammerheads are definitely a good counter to the thing. Has he got APM? Yeah, he's going for APM now. He's going for tech. Is he going to go for right? He's going to go for. Please don't go for mammoth tanks. Please do not go for Mammoth Tanks. Shock Troopers again. So Karth's just going for the exact same build. And if Charles falls into the same trap and goes for Mammoth Tanks again, I will be bitterly disappointed in him. He probably should call in those sniper drop pods. I think that'd be a good idea. Needs to get AP ammo online. It's almost online. And I think he needs to get those hammerheads out. Hey, look how many dead Ravagers there are for only, I think, 1 or 2 hammerheads. That's a good trade there for Charles. I think he needs to give up on the infantry. AP ammo done, so maybe. Look at this blue tip too, by the way. Oh my goodness, just go send those harvesters to the blue tip, Charles. Hammerheads, he's just refusing to use sniper teams or grenaders as well, which is a big problem in this match. Because infantry is the big issue that he can't deal with, and he's just refusing to try and counter it. I think Scrapper spam is an interesting choice by Karth. I think that's a mistake, just because there's actually no benefit to his Raptors anymore, because Charles barely has any infantry, and he has Ravagers on the field, so infantry won't do much. I tell you what, Charles doesn't actually have much here. He's back through now, and his force is moving in. And the Corruptors, they'll be able to kill that MCV really quickly, so the Corruptors may end up paying for themselves here. Hammerhead's coming in, trying to stop the last of the Shock Troopers so they can have free reign of this armor. Rocket Squad's wasting their shots on nothing. That Watchtower comes down. The end of the Sonic emitter drops a red, but wow, look at those Corruptors. The Screen Flame Tank, I don't know why he unpacked, I don't know why he thought that would be a good idea. He needs to call in the sniper team rockets, and again, he's got his railgun coming. Look at what's left. How does railguns help him there? And Karth will take a 2-1 lead, and I think Charles's builds as the GDI, I mean, I know he's not a GDI player, so I don't want to be too critical, but the builds, his early game builds are quite strong, but then he just completely fails to capitalize. I mean, look at the eco lead he got from the start of the game, and then he just was like, I'm going to throw that money into units that don't do anything. I mean, the infantry was a good choice at first, but he needed to realize that after the Ravagers came out, infantry was no longer an option. And going for rails again, like, he didn't need to tech up in that situation. I would have just kept going hard with that APC pred, hammerhead orcas. Orcas, man, orcas. People need to stop sleeping on orcas in this patch. They are powerful. But that's it. Karth takes a 2-1 lead in the series, so Karth is actually on match points. I'll see you guys in game 4. Okay guys, welcome back. This is game 4 of this best of 5, and we are on Pipeline Nightmares, and on the top as the red Traveller 59 once again is Karth on match points in this series, and in the bottom we have Charleswarmonk, who has swapped to Reaper 17. So that is interesting. So switching after the 2 losses as GDI to Reaper 17, which is an interesting choice when Karth is Trav, although of course the matchup is probably as balanced as it has ever been, considering it is 1.03. Karth, if obviously not being an experienced Traveller player, doesn't know that if you know you're versus a scrin, even in this patch, you just sit rush. It's just always effective. It is most effective versus other scrins, so there is no reason not to go. And look at that buzzer fight, man. That's just a joke, isn't it? I mean, 6 buzzers lose to 3, and Charles doesn't lose 1. I mean, that's just ridiculous, really, isn't it? Now, Karth Engineer, I don't know where Karth Engineer's going, but he's not going to the spike. War Factory placed down, and oh no, he's going to lose another engineer now because that turned around instead of going straight to the spike. Charles has already got his. Karth, he'll be behind again in this game like he was in game 1 because he's lost an engineer, buzzers have fallen, a lot of really unfortunate events already happened in this game. So can Karth pull it back somehow? Oh wait, Karth just sells out. Okay, well I guess that's game 4. I'm not sure if I missed something there, but Karth sold out. So, wow, 1 minute and 49 seconds for that game. I don't think we need to look at the stats. I think we'll just go straight on to game 5. So here we are in game 5, the ace match of this series. The score is 2-2 apiece, and Charleswarmonk in the top as the Cyan Reaper 17 will be looking to secure a series win here, and Karth in the bottom as the red Traveller 59. So this, again, a strange matchup, and will he go for Disintegrators this game? Does he know? No, I don't think that's a Stasis Chamber, no. So something to note is that I guess you can just go normal Disintegrators, that's fine too, but fast leg Disintegrators are so impossibly frustrating for a screen to deal with. It just forces buzzer hives all over the place and all sorts of rubbish that they just don't want to deal with. And that's, I think, the thing Karth should be able to abuse in this matchup, is that his infantry is quite powerful and quite fast, and Skrin's army, well, Reaper especially, they're slow. Maybe he'd have to go for those Mechapeds, but there's always the risk that the cultists will come out and take your own Mechapeds away from you. Of course, in this patch, you do actually have to force fire the head with your cultists, like as if it was a bike trying to shoot at it. You have to be able to force fire the head, so it does require a lot more micro, and I think that's a good balancing touch to a matchup such as this. Shardwalker comes out to these Disintegrators, they won't get anywhere. They will not be able to deal with that type of firepower this early in the game, especially without the upgrade. Although Charles throwing away buzzers for almost no reason there. And he actually is going to lose another one. No, not quite. So double ref down for both players. Karth, place your ref, please. Thank you. Portals hold off. So pretty patient start to this game. I mean, it is a screen mirror. A lot of screens. So I feel like we'll either see fast tech from Charles, or he's going to go for a lot of tier 1 spam. You can't really play standard versus a Traveller 59. In this ace match, these two are probably the highest skill leveled players in their group. So whoever wins this will probably, you would think, secure top spot in their group. But of course, you will never can be too sure with these types of tournaments where there is no pros involved. Mids can just upset mids at any time, which is quite fun to see. So Karth going for a tier 2 here. Is he going to capitalize on the use of this tier 2? I mean, he's used Icor Seed, which is great, but I don't like this. What's the point of building a tier 2 if you aren't going to use it to build tech or build tier 2 units as soon as possible? I mean, Charles already has a ref on his expansion, and Karth's only just starting his. I mean, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. I mean, yeah, he goes for initiators, sure, but why did you go for these extra harvesters? Then your ref's not going to be down in time. They're going to go back to your main base anyway. I think this is a big mistake here from Karth to go for this tier 2. I know he likes doing it, but I just think it is just a bad idea. So the ref comes down, and these harvesters, they've all come back over here because, I mean, the refinery wasn't down here in time, so they were just like, well, we're just going to go back over there, aren't we? 3 initiators are now on the field, and Seeker Tanks are pushing in here, and he's going to try and go for Disintegrators to defend, but I don't imagine that will work when the Shardwalker shows up, but the initiators get there in time. Charles going for Storm Riders is here, but these are different because they're Reaper Storm Riders, which means they shoot shards in 1.03. Harvester's just being transferred over, so I'm assuming he's going to go for a second ref here. Shard Storm Riders here from Charles. Interesting choice. Growth stimulated down, but he has no power. Karth is just going for this Dev to Sin. He's probably going to go for Ravagers. He needs to see this though, or this will catch him off guard and he will lose all of his harvesters. He's going for Dev Tanks as well on the ground here, Charles. So obviously his Dev Tanks more powerful than Karth's because they have the ability to charge themselves. But Karth has the ability to build Cultists, which can just take those Dev Tanks and turn them into his own units. Fast legs on the way here for Karth, and he still is yet to spot this transition from Charles into Air 5 Storm Riders, or Reaper Storm Riders, which they also have the ability to get blue shards on the map. Lifts up, there's 6, 7, 8 on the map, and Charles is going to move out and he's going to flank, and I think this could almost be game ending if this attack is as successful as he wants it to be. I'm not sure about selling off both airfields. It means that these guys can't repair at all. Ravager's coming out now. Shardwalker moving in, trying to get some scouting information. And Karth, he just seems a bit indecisive about what he wants to do. Now, has he seen these Storm Riders yet? No, he hasn't. These are going to be a big shock to him when they rock up. And they are going to go, and oh my god, they just melt harvesters, don't they? Oh man, and he needs to get those, he needs to get Ravagers, he needs to get AA batteries. Look, the Ravagers, they just don't touch the Storm Riders, do they? I mean, there's a lot of them there. And Charles, he's killed 3 harvesters so far, he's going to get a 4th, and he's going to get out of there now. He loses all but 2 Storm Riders, but he kills 4 harvesters, and Karth is now down to only 5 harvesters on the field, so he must have killed 4 actually. Charles now moving in with his Dev Shardwalkers, but he does not have enough to overwhelm his force. This was a bit of a overextension of his forces here from Charles. And his ground army is actually quite small, isn't it, considering? Mechapede's coming out, which is an interesting choice. Not sure if I like that. Of course, Ravagers also, their Tiberium agitation ability is able to hit Mechapedes. So I think it takes 3 of them to kill a head, but they just annihilate segments of the Mechapede. So he's going for Descent Shard, yep. He's got a lot of shards here, but I think the bigger problem here is the Initiator force that's coming. Karth is probably almost about to get a Prodigy out as well, with his tech being there. Karth is forced to fall back here. He's not able to break into this yet, but oh my god, there's like 10 Initiators here that are marching forward. 4, 3, 3, 10 all up. Blue Shards is done. Where are those Storm Riders? He needs to get them over to deal with those devs. Storm Column comes down, but Karth can just focus that down. He has so much firepower. Yeah, just focus it down. He's not force firing the Storm Column. The Mechapedes are force firing the ground. Oh no, this is terrible. Where's the Prodigy? Surely Karth has a Prodigy out by now, coming across the map. No, it doesn't look like it. Snipes a Mechapede with his force firing there. Running away, oh god, Charles is dead. Charles is dead. I think Charles is dead. These Mechapedes, they aren't going to be able to hold off. And yet again, the matchup of Reaper versus Traveller finds a way for Traveller to just dominate it, and this time it's with their own dev tanks. How bizarre. So, yeah, Charles goes down 3-2. Karth wins the series 3-2, so good for Karth. That is an excellent result for him. Now that will mean Karth will get 3 points from the series and Charles will get 2, and that will be that. So Karth wins the series 3-2. Well done, Karth, well played. Charles, I thought he played well too, actually. Maybe the second and third GDI games were quite poorly played by him, in my opinion, but Karth, he played a really excellent game. That new Initiator Shock Trooper Ravager, I really like that strategy, so well done to Karth, and GG's.